This episode is sponsored by Wix. Wix is a free, super friendly website building platform that creates amazing professional-looking websites. Wix has tons of free, stunning templates to choose from, and each has the flexibility to customize it to your liking. And you don't need any technical or coding skills to do it. Click the link in my video's description below to start creating your own free, stunning website. Hi, this is Marty from Blue Lightning TV. I'm going to show you how to create the look of a mixed media portrait from a photo and how to replace it with other photos without having to redo the effects. I provided 2 images so you can follow along. Their links are in my video's description or project files below. We'll use this first image for a texture and the second image to create a paper pattern. To make the pattern, go to Edit and Define Pattern. Then click OK. We'll apply the pattern later. Open the first image and in the Layers panel, click the Lock icon to unlock the layer. Click the eyeball icon to hide the layer. We'll make a new layer below it by Control-clicking or Command-clicking the new layer icon. We'll fill the empty layer with white, but first, if your foreground and background colors aren't black and white respectively, press D on your keyboard. Since white is your background color, press Ctrl or Command plus Delete. Click the Adjustment Layer icon and click Gradient. In the Gradient Fill window, open your gradients and click the black-white thumbnail. Make the style radial and the angle 0 degrees. Make the scale 250%. Check Reverse and click OK. Open a photo of someone that you'd like to use for this project. I downloaded this one from Shutterstock. Your subject should be sharp and well lit. We'll convert the photo into a smart object so we can modify it non-destructively. To do this, click the icon at the upper right of the Layers panel and click Convert to Smart Object. To place your photo into the texture document, make sure your Move tool is open. If it isn't, press V on your keyboard. Drag your photo onto the tab of the texture. Without releasing your mouse or pen, drag it down and release. To resize and reposition it, open your Transform tool by pressing Ctrl or Command T. If the Transform's bounding box is outside your visible canvas, press Ctrl or Command 0 to see it all. Go to a corner, and when you see a diagonal double arrow, press and hold Alt or Option plus Shift as you drag it in or out. Size it so the face fills most of the document. To reposition it, go inside the bounding box and drag it. Then press Enter or Return. To fit it back onto your canvas, press Ctrl or Command 0. Go to Filter and Filter Gallery. To position your image inside the window, just drag it. Open the Brushstrokes folder and click Crosshatch. Make the stroke length 10 and the sharpness between 10 to 15. The strength is 1. Keep in mind, since we're applying the filter to a smart object, we can adjust the amounts in these settings at any time. Make the texture visible again and open the Channels panel. If you don't see it, go to Window and Channels. Control-click or Command-click the RGB thumbnail to make a selection of the texture. Open back the Layers panel, hide the texture, and click the Layer Mask icon to make a layer mask of the selection next to your subject. If you want to reposition your subject inside the texture, click the chain link icon to unlink the layer and the layer mask. Doing this allows us to resize and/or reposition either of them independently of the other. Click your subject to make it active and drag it inside the texture until you're happy with its position. Next, we'll add the paper pattern that we saved at the beginning. First, let's delete the original texture layer since we now have it as a layer mask. Make it active. If you're using an earlier version of Photoshop, drag the layer to the trash. If you're using a recent version, just click the Delete key on your keyboard. Click the New Layer icon to make a new layer and fill it with white. Click the FX icon and click Pattern Overlay. The pattern that should appear is the one we saved. However, if it isn't, open your list of patterns, scroll down, and click the bottom pattern to open it. Make the scale 15% and click OK. We're going to change its blend mode, but first we need to convert it into a smart object in order for the blend mode to take effect. Change its blend mode to linear burn. Next, we'll brighten our overall portrait, but first, let's name the paper layer Paper Texture. Click the Adjustment Layer icon and click Levels. Drag the Input White slider to where the histogram starts to rise. Next, we'll replace our subject with another. Scroll to your subject and double-click it to open its source. Open another subject and convert it into a smart object. Drag it onto the tab of the source of the original smart object. Without releasing your mouse or pen, drag it down and release. Reduce its opacity so we can see the original source under it. Press Ctrl or Command T to open your transform tool. If you can't see its entire bounding box, press Ctrl or Command 0. Resize and reposition it so the face is approximately the same size and location as the original. Increase its opacity back to 100%. Close the tab of the Smart Object, and when you see this message, click Yes to save the changes. Now, when you open your portrait, the new photo has replaced the old one. To resize and/or reposition it inside the texture, open your Transform tool. If you see this message, it's just letting us know that the crosshatch filter will be temporarily turned off while we use the Transform tool. If the transform's bounding box is outside your canvas, press Ctrl or Command 0. Proceed to resize and/or reposition it inside the texture. This is Marty from Blue Lightning TV. Thanks for watching.